Hi, folks. Welcome back to Pop Out Fizzle. I'm Jeff.
I'm Heidi.
And we're back with more Moonlighting. If you joined us last time, we watched the second episode of the first season. Only 6 episodes in the first season, by the way.
It was a mid-season replacement, was it not?
I want to say so, yeah.
Okay.
Gunfight at the So-So Corral, which found David and Maddie being hired by a hired gunman to find another hired gunman. It was a whole complex thing. He was dying and wanted to try to set the guy on a better path. I guess.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah. But lots of fun to be had in that with David and Maddie. I think Maddie tried to quit, I don't know, a dozen times or so.
I said last time, we needed to have a quit counter up on the top of the screen, just counting every quit of the season. But we already started putting these out there, so I'll have to go back and count them, I think.
And I'm pretty sure that we forgot to mention for the first and the second episode, so we'll mention it now, that if you want to watch the full unedited version of this, you can find that at Patreon, but the first episode is always free. So you can go, if you've got the DVDs of Moonlighting Season 1, you can put that in and just wait for the time code to come up. Join us, watch along with us, and you can watch the whole thing for free. You just have to line it up with your own copy.
Yes.
So, and since this isn't streaming anywhere, you kind of got to do that anyway.
Yeah.
But we hope that through our effort, maybe it'll find its way back into or onto a streaming service.
Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
Definitely enjoying this ride so far. My Swiss cheese brain comes in handy because I don't remember a lot of this, even though I loved the show when it was on.
I loved what I saw of the show when it was on, when I was too young to be watching it.
Right. We're going to dive here into episode 3, which is called Read the Mind, See the Movie. And before we do that, we do want to remind you that if you do want to support us on Patreon, that link is always down below. That's where you get the full unedited reactions to anything that we watch, everything that we watch, actually. So if you want to watch us react to Farscape, to Deep Space Nine, to The Haunting of Bly Manor, to WandaVision, any of the things that we're watching, Mandalorian, you can line us up with your version of that or streaming service of your choice and watch along with us. Absolutely.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Keep going, honey. Keep going.
We've been doing a lot of this since quarantine started, so we have a lot of episodes to watch there in case you're interested in any of them.
And we're very much enjoying conversations that happen in the comments section.
Yeah.
So
everyone's been really kind, really kind. Thank you.
So we appreciate that, and we know that this show, because it's not streaming anywhere, it's kind of a weird choice for a reaction series, but we really hope that there's enough of you that loved the show when it was on that you want to take part and kind of join in with us, and maybe we can call some attention to the show and get it back streaming on a service that we can all enjoy it on. If you do comment down below, be prepared, because we like to respond to you there. We try to do so just as nicely as you talk to us, so we appreciate that. We've had nothing but kind interactions so far, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Also, if you are not interested in Patreon, or you can't afford anything on a monthly basis, but you still want to help us out at the channel, you can do that by hitting the thumbs up button, by subscribing if you haven't already. And if you want to do a one-time cash donation, you totally don't have to, but we always put our Cash App info down there as well, so that's an option. The only other option that I can see before us is that I hit play and we watch along together.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go.
I guess we should put some pants on the dummy.
That's what you say to me every morning. Put pants on, dummy. Now Professor Xavier comes in to assess the situation.
Hi, Dad. Glad you could make it. What the hell was that?
That was Dad.
They sure recognize their dad when they see him.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. Keep your fingers crossed.
Or Colt. Or Nobel. Well, if you will open your goggles.
You're not funny.
No. These are Ghostbusters. This is the Ecto Packs.
It's just a really big potato gun. Oh.
Oh.
Oops.
Okay, well, first of all, you're not supposed to be able to see lasers.
You know, the problem is that you're not supposed to eat 30 minutes before you go shooting a laser.
Oh.
another 10.
Sure you want to do that, Mr. Nelson?
Sure, I'm sure. What the hell kind of card game is this?
Mr. Nelson, let me remind you, we are engaged in important psychological testing that could have a direct impact on your job security here at SRT Industries. Now admit it, you're trying to misrepresent your hand, aren't you?
Having SRT Industries as a client is the cornerstone of my solicitations for new business. If we lose this, he sounded very upset.
Sure, he sounded upset. Guys like Baker, they're always upset. Type A personality. Blood pressure always in the 400s. Keels over, dies of a heart attack, 38 years old. Makes way for the next young Turk.
Your contract is terminated.
Mm.
Null and void.
Call me oversensitive, but I detect a little hostility.
My father was sitting out there. I can't make a move without his approval. I spent the last 5 years of my life trying to drag this mom-and-pop vacuum tube business into the 80s, and now between the two of you and that playboy Preston Holt, I'm not going to make it into next week.
Maddie, listen to me, Your name and reputation are going to bring us a lot of clients, and that's great, but why don't you just leave the actual detective...
To who? To you? I did that, and we lost our biggest client. We lost our only client.
Where are you going?
Back to the office to call Preston Holt to see if he's free for dinner.
You're going to ask Preston Holt to dinner? The millionaire industrialist playboy, that no account, that satyr, you're going to call him?
Yes, believe it or not, I can. Look up a number, dial a phone, and ask for what I want.
Maddie,
Look up a
don't
number.
Make a fool out of yourself. Trust me, this is my
Why would he
idea.
be listed?
Maddie.
I will admit that from time to time I have been privy to certain pieces of information that the SRT people might consider sensitive.
Well, how do you do it?
If I told you, you wouldn't believe it.
I'd have to kill you.
Can I spend the night?
What?
Excuse me?
I've realized I haven't even paid for dinner. This must seem terribly out of line.
Well, actually,
I don't necessarily have to sleep with you, you know. In fact, I don't really have to stay. You could invite me in, let me sneak out the back door.
actually, Mr. Holt, that...
It's the chauffeur, you see, sitting back there, and... Well, I'm Preston Holt, and you're Maddie Hayes.
In
He
my
expects me
mind,
to-
this was a business dinner.
Oh, mine too. Do you want me to pay you?
Happening.
You want to pay me to come in my house and not sleep with me?
Beat that deal anywhere in town. I did tell you what you wanted to know.
Thought I heard you kids out here.
Oh my god.
Hi, I'm Papa Bear. Come on in and have some Tang. Just made some fresh.
Tang.
Is he yours?
Mine?
No.
Sure! How's my sweetie weetie?
Ugh.
Take a rain check on that Tang, Maddie.
Attractive man.
When he was a kid, his parents would dress him up for Halloween as a speed bump. The guy's a rude.
Breaking into my
I
home.
was worried about
Worried,
you.
ha! Worried that I would find out what you could not. Worried that I would discover the secret of SRT Security Link. Worried that with my few scant weeks of training as an investigator, that I would be able to do what you had not.
Would you repeat the question?
I can't believe he called me that.
I'm sure he didn't mean it. He's probably never even met your mother.
Maddie. I'm sorry about Brian. He's under an extraordinary amount of pressure.
I believe Preston Holt.
Why don't you just let it go?
I'm Omar Gauss.
I'm Madeline Hayes, and this is David Addison.
Can you do this?
I really appreciate you seeing us in such short notice.
I just think I'm extending professional courtesy.
Preston Holt told me that you provided him with highly classified data relating to SRT Industries products.
Were you prone when Holt told you that?
I beg your pardon.
Ew.
Wait a second. Answer the question.
David.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo what? Bingo who?
Bingo Brian Baker. Just got out of the car. Take a peek.
Bingo was his name-o.
What difference does it make whose binoculars are? Just take a look.
Binoculars, they're opera glasses. I got them for the opera surveillance. Ha, you made it sound so romantic. You didn't tell me it was going to be outside at night in the freezing cold.
Must have slipped my
How
mind.
cold is it in California?
What else is going on?
And I would very much like to accelerate my appointment to CEO. It is taking forever, and I'm starting to lose my credibility out in the financial community.
Betty could suggest a special election.
That's good. Just a suggestion. Keep it low-key.
Betty.
See if so much buys whatever she says.
I understand.
And something about my sister. He's starting to listen to my sister again.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know, something. He listens to her.
She's half alien.
Thinks that we should be figuring out how to grow better plankton.
She talks to the devil.
Research.
I'll do what I can. I better
She's
go
a
to-
witch.
One more.
Gun secure.
What's it for?
What's it for? You pull on this and the butler brings you food. It's for climbing. It's for climbing up on the roof.
Couldn't we just use the pipe?
Well, I mean, if you want to be smart about it, I guess.
Really?
How?
Betty's here, Carl. She wants to talk to you about Brian, about your son, Brian.
Lower, I can't see or hear anything.
How is she holding him?
Lower.
Betty wants to talk to you about Brian and the bright light. She wants you to help Brian.
And the banana split gang.
Laser.
And the barbecue
Talking about the laser.
that you're having in Barbados.
Are you sure, Betty? Give me a sign.
Lower.
Give me a sign.
A symbol, please.
Lower. Lower.
A symbol.
Betty.
David. I'm sorry.
I'm not talking to you.
Receiving an impression.
Can you swim?
Isn't the relevant question, can you fly?
You have to learn to be more positive.
I'm positive I can't do that. I'm positive we're gonna die.
Could be worse. Could be no pool. Could be a pool with no water.
You're right. We should be dancing in the streets. We're gonna get to take a swim before we die.
Get undressed.
Isn't it usually a blindfold and a cigarette?
Maddie, you're gonna want as little on you as possible when you hit the water. Now get undressed.
What does that say?
I don't want to die in my underwear.
I'm sorry. This was gonna happen. If I had known, we could have shopped. Now get undressed.
That's quite a distance.
Yeah. That doesn't work.
That's also very much not her.
Yeah.
I'm sure not him either.
Yeah, because he was wearing shorts.
Well, he's wearing shorts.
He was wearing shorts. Oh, I thought those pasty legs were khakis.
What I tell you, piece of cake.
Oh, look out.
You've done a terrific job. I knew you would. Despite what my brother says, I'm a terrific judge of character.
Oh, there's that
I'm
word.
trying to convince my father of what you've told me.
Terrific.
I might need your help.
Oh, I was going to say character. Remember when people used to have character?
No, but terrific was just a word that was used a lot by people of that generation.
Thanks for beating that horse.
Thanks for spurring me on.
You're all right, kid.
You're not bad yourself, fella. Not bad at all. Hello?
Who sabotaged the gun?
David, where are you? If it isn't Omar, and it isn't Carl, and if it isn't Brian, who is it?
Hello, Maddie. David.
Vivian.
What are you up to, Viv?
Ghost busting.
Housekeeping?
Sorry, Maddie. I never anticipated the two of you would keep on investigating after you were fired.
You sabotaged the gun, didn't you?
Yeah, not only that, I'm the one who called Holt and offered him Brian's research.
Oh, for a second I thought her hair was on fire.
Ooh, that was a nice set piece. Easy.
Look out. That's a heck of a lightsaber, seriously.
Yeah.
Let's try something easy. Something obvious. Were both your feet on the floor when Preston Holt told you Omar was giving him Baker's secrets?
Excuse me?
I'll rephrase the question. Did you have an unobstructed view of the sky or the ceiling when this information was imparted?
I'm not answering these
A
questions.
simple yes or no will suffice.
I hate you.
I thought you said you were having fun. I know I'm having a good time.
All right, that is it for another episode of Moonlighting, episode 3 of the first season, to be exact. Heidi, your thoughts?
So when they were congratulating themselves on solving the case, I took a peek over at our soundboard, which actually is a time counter as well. And I'm like, this is too early for this show to be over.
I thought so too, yeah.
And I was like, surely there must be something else. And I'm glad that, I was right. But this is a lot of fun. This is we didn't have to use the quit counter this time, actually.
We did not.
I was
She did
surprised
not
by
try to
that.
quit. However,
She actually was trying to not quit, which
Sure.
is different for her.
I will say that the premise of this is more easily and readily dated than, this is a series that, because it was very contemporary in its time,
Yes.
it looks dated now because the 80s fashion, the 80s references, that kind of thing.
But also trying to drag the company into the 80s.
Right. But also just the premise of the laser and the big, it's very, very 80s in its premise, which there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah.
But
it just
doesn't hold up as well as like the first and second episode did for me.
Yeah.
It seemed a little bit of a swing and a miss as far as the general plot. Now, I always love David and Maddie. I love watching them interact and the nonsense that they get into. But the plot itself, I was just kind of, eh. It's just a plot of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, a plot of the week. And, definitely for its time. But you can, 40 years later, we can still follow along, or 35 years later, we can still follow along and understand what they're trying to do and what the purpose and concepts that were happening there. I know also for the time, I was really mad that everyone was insisting that she was sleeping with everyone.
Yeah.
I was like, why would we assume this? Why on earth would we assume that was what she was doing?
Well, I think that guy's reputation probably had a lot to do with it.
And he was trying to pay her to walk through the house.
Yeah.
So I wonder
which was ridiculous.
I wonder what his deal was.
But I did love the save there from David. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And that she was, willing to go through with that save because she was annoyed by that guy already.
Yeah. I didn't find him especially good looking. He wasn't awful, but he wasn't like, ooh, like maybe he was like that for the 80s.
He and the brother, both character actors that I've seen in lots of different things. So
maybe it was just, he was.
As a matter of fact, I'm fairly certain that the guy that played the brother is in Deep Space Nine at some point if he hasn't been already.
Oh.
But that's all I'll say about that. Anyway,
I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, I am. I'm very. Of course, I could be thinking of another Star Trek series because I've seen them all, but I'm pretty sure it's Deep Space Nine that he's in. But yeah, character actors, and that's kind of the staple of 80s television anyway. I mean, it was really the staple, always been the staple of television, that you have certain character actors that move around from show to show playing different characters. Sometimes they come back as completely different characters. That happens too in a lot of things.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as the plot itself, I just felt this was kind of on the weekend of things. But I still enjoyed the chemistry and the fun.
Yeah, I thought
aside from a couple of weird edits that were kind of disjointed.
Yeah, that one weird, super weird edit that we missed, like a complete conversation that happened there. But you're finding the plot kind of weak, and I'm just like, it's popcorn. It's fine. It was like just entertainment for entertainment's value. It was all right.
Well, and there are a lot of shows from the 80s that are like that. I mean, if you pull a random episode of something like the A-Team or Knight Rider or whatever, you're going to have some episodes that are a lot of fun and where they're banging on all cylinders, and you have some episodes where it's like, this is just the same episode that they did in season 1 that they just put a new bad guy into and changed the location and redid it.
Sure.
Or whatever. So all series, especially in the 80s and in the 70s and stuff like that, had weaker episodes because they put all their eggs in another basket. They were prepping another episode or whatever. And, that episode just suffered a little bit for it.
Yeah.
But as far as weak episodes go, I mean, this one was completely watchable and just, just kind of so-so.
It was there.
I didn't feel like it was anything that I'm going to be dying to see again. But again, I love the character stuff, and that to me makes it worth the watch.
Yes.
Anyway, any other thoughts?
I want to know who those people are in the background of their office.
Oh, in the background of Blue Moon Detective Agency?
Yeah, they're just always there.
I think you'll find throughout the seasons that the detective agency employs other people, but the only people we ever follow are David and Maddie.
Oh, well, I wonder what
So they're at the top of the chain. But maybe those guys are following somebody who suspects their wife's having an affair, or they're, you know what I mean? Like they're doing the menial stuff that doesn't interest David and Maddie.
But they said that SRT was their only client. Was it David and Maddie's only client?
Yeah, and I think maybe the big client. This is the client that pays for us to be able to do all the other stuff.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing.
Okay.
But anyway, maybe we'll find out some more about, I think that's kind of the point of showing us that. Like, there's more going on, but we're really only following, a couple of characters, and that's okay. That's it for the third episode, which was called, what was it called again? Read the Mind, See the Movie.
Oh.
But that's going to do it for that. We'll be back with the fourth episode next week. We definitely want to know what you think about this. Was this an episode that you liked? Do you remember it from when it first aired? Was it something that you were drawn to at the time, or not so much?
Any quick
got a
trivia?
Car alarm going off outside.
It wasn't me, I promise. I was going to say, any quick trivia about any of the actors that appeared here that may have appeared in other things. If you've got that, we're willing to listen and read along with whatever you have to say.
Yeah, and if I'm wrong about the Star Trek thing, definitely call me out on that, because my brain is Swiss cheese, as we've established previously. Anyway, if you want to see the full uninterrupted version of this reaction, you can find that on Patreon. That link is always in the description, as well as Cash App and some other things. Also, our podcast. So check out that when you get a chance, because we talk about all kinds of things that we don't get to talk about while we're doing this show.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll be back with more Moonlighting. Be sure and check all the other shows that we're reacting to and see what you like there. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.